Hi guys, welcome back. In today's video, we are going to be discussing about Anup Engineering, the Q4FY24 result as well as Concall, right? So what does Anup Engineering do? They're into making this heavy engineering products such as your heat exchangers, vessels and everything that goes on to be used in your petrochemical industries, your oil industries, hydrogen industries, etc. Okay, so I've done a complete detailed video on this last year itself. You can just go on what exactly this heat exchanger is and everything, and the complete product portfolio. You can just go to my playlist and check the business model playlist and you'll find it over there in my YouTube channel. Okay. So now let's just come back and discuss the Q4 FY24 result. So right off the bat, if you look at Q4 FY24, if you look at the total top line, it has been excellent because if you've been tracking this company, they had guided the FY24 revenues for around 520 to 530 crore while maintaining your EBITDA margins at 22 to 23%. That's what they had guided in the start of the year. And we're ending this year in FY24 and you see that the revenue is around 550 crores and the margin profile is also around 22 to 23%. So overall great, right? Because any company that walks the talk, gives the guidance and does it well and good. Not only that, if you see, because companies like Anup Engineering, the problem here is earlier I would say, the problem used to be in terms of volatility in earnings, right? Because one quarter it could be good, the other quarter it's not probably great, because everything depends on the delivery, right? Like the delivery of the products at the end of the day, and sometimes it can get delayed and everything, so one quarter entire earnings only can be vanished. So and the management had made it very clear, from the start of this year, that not only are they targeting this 530 crore in revenue, but also every quarter they're going to be consistent in terms of delivering the revenues, right? They will constantly try to do around 25 to 30% for growth. That is what they had targeted, and we also saw that also. So throughout the year it has been a great show by the company, in fact, right? So nothing to complain with how they have walked the talk, with how they have conducted themselves, right? So overall good set of numbers. Now let's talk about Q4 FY24. If you look at Q4 FY24 numbers at a glance, when you see, it could be very disappointing. Like someone who sees this, Q4 FY24, I mean Q4 FY24 versus Q4 FY23, if you look, you see that the growth has hardly been 8%, right? And PAT ka percentage, if you look, like the profit before tax has been 32.6. I'm not taking PAT into consideration because यहाँ पे क्या हुआ है, they've got this a lot of tax, like one of the tax has been reversed. And they've got this provision of I think around 14 crores. Now what has happened is, earlier if you look this Anup Engineering company, it used to be a part of this holding company called Arvind Group, and they had demerged from that, and because of that, they've got some cash right now, because of this demerger. So as a result, it has been added onto your bottom line. That is why the PAT looks very huge. If you look PAT in terms of absolute numbers, the PAT has grown by 121%, like last Q4 to this Q4. But that's the reason, right? So that is why I'm taking PBT into consideration. So PBT has grown by around 32.6%. Now here you will see one thing that is interesting is you'll see that why that every, like if you check Q3 on Q3, it was 12%. Before that, you would have seen Q2 on Q2 around 30-40%. So why has this been 8%? Because like I told you, the company has been focusing on, consistently delivering, because earlier you see Q2 may also there used to be a lot of seasonality and, earnings ka volatility was there, but they have tried to avoid it as much as possible and be consistent. So earlier what used to happen, Q3 and Q4 used to look very stronger because of the inconsistency in terms of delivery. But now that they have been consistent, you don't expect that, bumper Q4 like how we used to have it earlier. Now we are going to have like normal Q4 like any other quarters, because like I told you, they've been consistent over the quarter. So that is the reason you're seeing hardly a few, like a single digit growth. But one thing to mostly know here is the fact that they've achieved 550 crores in revenue is like a very good, a very good target, right? So now let's go and see like how does the FY25 year looks, and have they revised the guidance, or are they holding on to the guidance and everything? Okay. So first of all, if you look at the product portfolio, like the entire FY24 product portfolio, if you look, you see that heat exchanger is still the dominant part, right? Because heat exchanger is around 70% of your product portfolio, and the other things like vessels, and the other things are like around are still not that dominant, although we have the Kedah plant which will add on to it, because the Kedah plant got commissioned around last quarter, right? Or a quarter before that. So it will take time. Probably going forward in this year, you could see some product mix change because of all the capex that has happened, right? Even in terms of if you look at the industry mix, like revenue kis industry se aata hai, even if you look in terms of that, oil, gas, and petrochemical jo industry hai, even until now, that only is the most dominant one, followed by your fertilizers, agricultures, and of course your blue. Recently, they've started getting into this blue hydrogen, right? Mostly into export. That are the three dominant industry over here. ऑर्डर बुक अगर आप बात करते हो, ऑर्डर बुक इज ऑल्सो वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग. सो नया ऑर्डर बुक जो है इस साल के लिए FY25 के लिए is around 854 crores, and out of this 854 crores 700 crores jo hai will be executed in FY25, and the rest jo 150 crores of order book that is there, it will be for FY26. Okay, and this 850 crores order book mein you will see that 50% is export, and 850 crores ka 20% is around blue hydrogen, right? Like I told you, they've been very bullish on this blue hydrogen ka industry. So why you will see this 50% is in export is because, see, you would have seen Anup Engineering ka one more thing over here to notice. Earlier when they started, it used to be around, I think, 10 percentage, and slowly they increased to 10, 15, 30 percentage. In fact, they told they wanted to end the year with 30 percentage coming from export, and they've done so rightly too. So now why is this? Because if you look, they want to have this, they don't want to have a geographic concentration, right? Because see, everything is a cycle at the end of the day. Or domestic once if their cycle ghum jayega, right? If it turns around, then it becomes very difficult for companies like this. So of course, to have the diversification in geography is very important. The other thing also, they see that a lot of domestic projects that is there in India, I mean India only, of course, there has been a lot of slowdown here, especially with IOCL and the Nayantara Energy and everything. They're seeing that a lot of their projects have been like going down. Like in fact, like literally the quote unquote words by Reginald D'Souza, who's the CEO of the company, was like, all the projects in the domestic are hitting the ground. He literally used the word thrice. So you can understand the impact over here with domestic. Actually, we've been seeing a lot of slowdown for the last 2 to 3 quarters, and we haven't seen it improve also. And the other thing is probably for all these projects, because see, these are huge projects, right? And they are like all into this capex and so heavy. It will take around 6 months to again come back up, right? So yeah, overall, because of these two reasons, why you're seeing that more and more they're pushing towards export. And right now in FY24, 30% of the revenue is coming from export. Okay, so going forward, they want to take it up to 50 percentage, like 50 from domestic and 50 from export, right? So that's that on order book. Other than that, if you see, like in terms of capex, because see, they've completed almost all of their capex, right? Like last quarter, if we see, they have near their manufacturing plant, what they have is near this Keda, they have 6 bays. Okay, out of that, 1.5 bay was already constructed and it got commissioned, the Keda plant. And the other half of the bay that is there, this half of the second bay, that is supposed to be constructed that was started. The construction was started over there, and it will be completed in Q2. In the sense, Q1 it will be completed, but production will start in Q2. And this going forward will again add 150 crores in revenue. We saw that the first plant of the first bay in Keda, where the vessels contribution was there, and I think they supplied to one company in Jordan, right? With that, so probably again with this bake up, how do I put this? Once the construction of the base completed, again, not only it will add 150 crores in revenue, we can see some product mix where the dependence on heat exchanger is less and vessel contribution will slowly increase. Okay. Other than that, you will see that they have also acquired this new company called Mabel Engineers Private Limited, okay, which is located in Tamil Nadu. And this company that is there, they manufacture vessels, which is already there in their product portfolio, and especially this another company called Silos. Okay, sorry, not company. What am I telling? Another product called Silos. Now, if you look at this product, right, they don't, Anup Engineering doesn't do this product as of now because they do not have the expertise. They might have the technology and everything, but they don't have that expertise and the working force over there. So by acquiring this company, they will get a new product portfolio, and which will help them. Okay, and also the Silos goes into your heat exchangers and other products, right? Earlier, what used to do is you have to get somebody to install it on ground in your client location. Now, what they can do with the help of this company, since they've acquired it, they can finish the entire process in the plant itself and just do some minor adjustments once it reaches a client location. So this also will add on to the revenue. Okay, and the last thing is, of course, they've done a small design office in Gujarat. So that is that in terms of their capex, right? And the other bays that are there, because there are 6 bays, 2 bays are constructed, other 4 bays that are there, it will be, they told ki like capex ka plan that is there. As and when we go forward in the next coming years or the next financial year, we will update in the BSE website that is there. Okay. So right now, even like I told you, the company is mainly concentrating on exports, right? More and more they're doing into exports, especially US mein unka zyada hai, US and Middle East. 40% is coming from US, 30% from Middle East, and that is where they're, because in these especially in the US, the hydrogen industry, that is where it is taking off, and that is where most of their heat exchangers and vessels can be used. They find a lot of importance over there, so that is why they're targeting the export market as much as possible, right? Other than that, if you see, the guidance again still remains strong as usual. They're targeting 25 to 30% of growth over the next few years, for the next 3 to 4 years at least, while maintaining the margins at the same 20 to 20 percentage, 20 percentage odd, right? You might tell ki like why, because why still 20 percentage odd? Because they're increasing the capex, they're doing everything right. They're also like going into like higher like heat exchangers, like specialty in heat exchangers. Why is because, see, if you go into more specialized product, the materials that are used over here are also going to expensive, right? They're also going to be costly, right? And you will have to use thicker materials. So as a result, your cost of good also increases. That is why margins will still remain the same in spite of your revenue increasing. So that has been it. And in the coming year, see, this time they clocked around 550 crores in revenue. For FY25, that is a coming year, they're targeting 700 crores in top line, and in 900 crores top line in FY26, and 1000 total top line in FY27, right? So they're targeting around like that 25 to 30% CAGR over the next few years. And this top line is just purely organic, like in the sense only from Anup Engineering. They have not taken into consideration that Mabel Engineering that they've acquired recently, right? From there, you can expect probably 50 to 60 crores in this coming financial year. And, again, that is not included in the 700 crore top line that is there. So I think the only thing right now we can wait and watch and see is like, if we see like if Anup Engineering will be able to do the 700 crore top line. The only thing is probably what is, because they're being very consistent in all their quarters, you might not see a huge change in terms of revenue growth. Like earlier, you see that the pace of growth, if you see, it used to be 40-60%, because on an account of lower base and then inconsistency in earnings. Now, as the base is increasing and they're being very consistent, probably you will not see that 60%, 70% change in terms of revenue. You will see that 25 to 30% only. That's that, right? But overall guidance is strong. Everything is good. They don't see any problems in terms of Red Sea crisis also. Nothing in terms of raw material cost or, whatever they're doing in terms of export also. So overall good, nothing to complain over here, I would say so. The last thing I would say in terms of valuations, I'll tell you, like, if I consider conservatively that, like, the worst case scenario is the company doesn't get any operating leverage, I'm assuming that, and they will grow at 25%. Okay, like the profits will grow at 25%. Best case scenario, let's take the operating leverage comes into full force, and let's say, like, as usual, because your operating, like, PAT usually grows by 50% or odd. Let's say it grows by 50%, because FY24 ka total PAT is around 103 crores. So if I take 25 to 50% ka growth in terms of PAT, your FY25 ka PAT lies in the range of 127 to 150 crores odd, right? So you divide that by market cap, your PE ka range, 1 year forward ka PE ka range falls between 22 to 27 ka PE. In that range it falls. Okay. So I think, like I always tell, valuation is a very subjective thing, right? Ultimately. And I think you can infer it for yourself and decide for yourself. For a company that is growing at 25 to 30% CAGR, who wants to like literally like double their revenue in the next 2 years, next 3 years, because this year they ended with 550 crores in revenue, and in FY27 they're targeting 1000 crore in top line, right? So a market cap of 3,800 crores, doubling the revenue in the next 3 years, and available at a 1 year forward PE of 22 to 27 ka range ka PE. You can infer it for yourself if it is cheap or expensive, because like I told you, valuation is subjective. Some people will look at like 2 to even 3 years ka forward earnings and will call today's valuation as cheap, and some people can find at this valuation for a manufacturing company to be too expensive, right? So I think it ultimately depends on who you are as an individual and what kind of investing style do you have. It just depends on that. So I wouldn't want to comment on that, right? But overall, good numbers, great, good numbers, good update, and the guidance continues to remain strong. Yeah. So that's it about Anup Engineering. Hope you all liked it. I will do another 2 videos. One will be on Tinna Rubber and infrastructure, and the other one will be on Usha Martin and Bharat Wire Ropes. I will cover the con call as well as do the P2P analysis of both. Right. So that's that. Take care. Bye bye.